How does a walk-in cooler work? If you have ever stepped into a walk-in cooler, you have probably felt that sudden drop in temperature. It feels simple from the inside: cold air, shelves of food, and a heavy insulated door. But behind the scenes, a walk-in cooler is running a system that constantly removes heat from the room. That is the key idea. A walk-in cooler does not create cold air. It removes heat and sends it somewhere else. This happens through something called the refrigeration cycle. The system relies on four main parts: the compressor, the condenser, the expansion valve, and the evaporator. A fluid called refrigerant moves through each of these components in a continuous loop. Let's break down how that cycle works. First is the compressor. Think of it as the engine of the system. The compressor squeezes the refrigerant into a high-pressure gas. When it is compressed, the refrigerant becomes hot. Next, that hot refrigerant moves into the condenser. The condenser coils are usually located outside the cooler. Fans blow air across these coils, releasing the heat into the surrounding air. As the refrigerant cools, it changes from a gas into a liquid. From there, the liquid refrigerant passes through the expansion valve. This valve lowers the pressure of the refrigerant. When the pressure drops, the temperature drops too, making the refrigerant extremely cold. Now the refrigerant enters the evaporator, which is the unit you typically see inside the cooler. Fans pull warm air from the room and push it across the evaporator coils. As the air passes over the coils, the refrigerant absorbs the heat and removes it from the room. The refrigerant then returns to the compressor, and the entire cycle repeats again and again to keep the cooler at a steady temperature. Of course, the refrigeration system is only part of the story. Walk-in coolers are built with thick, insulated panels and tightly sealed doors. This insulation helps trap the cold air inside and prevents warm air from entering. If the door seal is damaged or insulation is compromised, the system has to work much harder to keep the cooler cold. Inside the cooler, a thermostat monitors the temperature. If the temperature rises above the set point, the refrigeration system turns on and begins removing heat again. Most walk-in coolers are set between 35 and 38 degrees Fahrenheit, which keeps food safely refrigerated without freezing it. With proper airflow, good insulation, and regular maintenance, a walk-in cooler can operate reliably for years. So while it might look like just a cold room, a walk-in cooler is actually a carefully designed system that constantly moves heat out of the space to keep everything inside at the right temperature.